away. When we got Tottenham away. Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away.
Welcome to the Tottenham Away podcast, a Spurs podcast on the road. I am here. I am blessed with the usual suspects. I got Shy, I got Stell, I got Bry, and we got a special guest, Mr. Lily White Lane. Welcome, Lily White Lane. Welcome, gentlemen. How y'all doing today?
Hello.
All good.
Yeah,
Oh,
all good.
All good.
Yeah,
All good. I
very
feel
well,
like
thanks.
we're all going to be in happy.
Hey!
What's up, people? Nice job
That's
on the video
brilliant,
there.
Phil.
That
That's
was
really good.
stuff.
That was good.
Yeah.
God, we've definitely aged, haven't we? After 150.
Yeah.
We've definitely aged.
I've got less
no
hair than
doubt.
before.
I'm just wearing my hat, keeping it simple.
yeah.
Bri, you're muted, Bri. You're muted, Bri.
Brian's on mute. We're off to a cracker.
Yeah, there you
remember
go.
how bad that
He hasn't changed.
yeah, I haven't. I just remember how bad that grey headset I had with that microphone was. My
Yeah.
God, that was shocking.
So funny to hear that. Hear the music again.
I'll
Hear
tell
the
you what,
intro, all the
It
stuff.
was
there. Yeah,
amazing, wasn't it?
It was good. It was good.
I mean, it was
Thanks
good.
for
You know
that
what?
stuff.
I've just realised maybe we should have invited Robbie on as a special guest because he was the first guest
Yeah.
we had on as well.
Yeah, it's
didn't-
true. That would have been funny. Well, maybe he's watching. And Robbie, if you do
Yeah,
watch this,
he's in the comments.
yeah, thank you for being the first guest. That was fun
Yeah.
times.
I think Robbie's 25 now. He's a working man.
It's completely different, actually. It's hilarious. I've seen him on his YouTube channel.
Awesome.
Well, look, let's get going. Let's say hello to everyone in the chat. I'm sure these are viewers from both channels anyway. By the way, anyone watching this is live on Tottenham on Tour as well, so you can watch on both channels. We've got Donna Cullen saying hello to everyone in the chat. Big
Wow.
up Donna Cullen.
We've got royalty in the house.
He's here already.
Ian's in the house. We've got Wolves F1, Chris Agomba, who was with us actually from the very beginning, Chris, when we first started.
Yeah, Chris.
Yep.
Tom's in the house, Jamie Gitt, Harmless Potato, William, Tony Rodriguez. I know he watches both channels. Jason, Richo, Roy, LA007, JJ, Jason Groves.
Big
up,
Actually
Grozy.
from the
He's
home
an
of Brian
original.
Davis.
He's an original for sure.
Yep.
Peter Breen, who's watching from Tottenham on Tour. Edward Talks, Mark Cousin watching from Tottenham on Tour. We've got Chris in the house. Who else we got? Let's see. Andrew, Tom81, Jonas, Jamie Gitt, Rams. Oh no, he's going to give us stick. He's a gooner. I know what he is. The Bertie Hot
That
Spur,
lot, aren't
Mark.
they? They hang out in the Spurs YouTube channels and take the piss. Bad.
They literally can't wait as soon as we lose. They're looking for us. Spurred on. Luca 14.
Big up, Luca.
Is spurred on Barnaby?
It should be. If
Yeah,
that's his
what?
channel,
Probably
unless
is, yeah.
somebody else nicked it, right? That
Yeah, I
could-
think someone else has nicked it because he's
Yeah,
brought out
probably.
his own. He's back with his own.
He's got his
new,
own YouTube channel
Barnaby
now, hasn't he?
Slater, so
Yeah.
whatever his surname is. So I don't think it is him.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay. Bryce, how you doing, my man?
Yeah, Bryce.
John Fitzpatrick, Scott M.
Scott.
Bloody M.
Yeah.
Canadian.
Yeah.
Canadians are out in force.
Scott M has been missing for months. As soon as we start losing, he's back. He's like,
Oh,
yeah.
he loves
I
a good
told
bit of
you, I told
negativity,
you.
doesn't he?
Scott Hynam and Ike
Big
Shootin
up.
from Toronto as well. So, lads, what can I say? It's been a couple of years. We started, we've shifted, we've moved, we've left, we've come back, and listen, there's only one way to start this show, I think, and that is just very quickly go around the table. This man here, Terry Venables,
Yep.
passed away on the weekend. They had it in the stadium. He got a standing ovation. People were singing, "Oh, Terry Venables." Who would have thought the last time we won an FA Cup would have been Terry Venables? But it's true. Let me start with you, Sean. We'll go around. Terry Venables, briefly.
El Tel. Yeah, I mean, he was a kind of a bit of a visionary, wasn't he, for for football in general. You know, what he did at Barcelona, started at Palace, played for Chelsea, played for Tottenham, Gazza years, Paul Stewart years. Actually, I was lucky to go to Wembley, actually, for a pre-season tournament. It was Arsenal, Tottenham, AC Milan, and Bayern Munich. And that's when Gazza, I think, made his debut, actually, with Paul Stewart. But it's kind of, what a great tournament that was, to be fair. It was really good to see Gazza play in the beginning. But, yeah, I mean, Terry Venables, he was a legend, absolute legend. It's very sad to hear the news, really. We played some good football under El Tel, didn't we, really?
Yeah, we did play some good football. Won a cup as well doing it. Brian, I know you're a massive Paul Gascoigne fan. He played under Terry Venables.
Yep. Listen, you look at it, Terry Venables was the first manager at my first Spurs Live game, so he was always going to be special to me. He won this. Listen, we won 3 trophies when I was like 2, 3, and 5. But the first trophy I proper remember was under Terry Venables. Terry Venables gave me Paul Gascoigne, like you just said, Stel. Terry Venables gave us some wonderful moments, some great football. He was ahead of the game. And he also was the manager of, for many of us, our first home England international tournament. And Euro 96 was one of the best summers of my life. I was at the Scotland game when Gazza scored that goal. I was at the Holland game that we destroyed. It's Terry Venables. That man is a very, very special man to me, and Tottenham. And it's a real shame that he's gone. Real shame.
Yeah. Big loss. Brian Ireland, I don't know how far back you go as a Spurs fan, not trying to insult you, but Terry Venables.
No. Yeah, I mean, I was just going to say, I know him as a manager more than a player. Obviously, I've taken a look at his Wikipedia and where he's from, what he's done. And I remember I started really getting into watching international football in the 90s. So I did catch him at the World Cup. I think was it 94? Was it 94 World Cup?
94 we didn't qualify. You had to pick the one we didn't qualify for. 96 was Terry Venables' only tournament. 98.
Okay, it was 96. I mean, I that's when I started to pay attention. I remember him being manager, so I didn't pick that one. I just picked the wrong one. my memory isn't so great. But yeah, I mean, it's a loss for the football world. I mean, he did so much for football, so many different teams, and of course some of our rivals as well. But yeah, wonderful player, wonderful manager, and there's not much else to say about it. It's a loss. It's a big loss.
Yeah, it is a big loss. For me, it's simple. It's the first manager that won us a trophy that I can relate to, that I used to go to games to. I was lucky enough to go to that 1991 semi-final. I won a prize through the school, and the school took 4 of us to Wembley. And I mean, I was 12 years old. It was a mental game, absolute nuts. And yeah,
didn't someone score a free kick in that game? Did someone score a free kick?
I believe someone had a crack.
Someone had a crack from distance, yeah. I believe. Yeah,
I believe so.
Schoolboys own stuff, apparently.
It was.
Yeah, I mean that goal. But what people don't realise is Terry Venables that season, by winning the FA Cup, stopped Arsenal from doing the double. Because Arsenal won the league. If we didn't win the FA Cup, Arsenal would have beaten Nottingham Forest the same we did. I reckon they were really, really good side that year, Arsenal. So he done us a massive favour winning that trophy as well. But yeah, another legend of the game gone. We might have a new legend on our hands in the making with Ange, which we are going to discuss tonight. I don't want to give him legendary status yet, but let's talk about the game on the weekend, guys. 2-1, lost. Now, I want to talk about the starting lineup, right? So I don't know about Brian and Brian on your channel, but on our channel, this was our predicted lineup, okay? I saved it. We thought for sure Davies and Dyer at the back, Højbjerg in the middle, Pape Sarr, right?
Mm-hmm.
What we actually saw...
yeah, very different than that.
I don't think anyone
No one had that lineup down. No
Davies. Pape Sarr got injured, so in came Lo Celso. He dropped Dyer and put in Royale at centre-back. Kulu in the 10. Hill starts out wide and Johnson in the right wing position, which a lot of people called for. Now, for most fans, they said, yes, good. He's trying something different. This is brave. We're not going to see the inevitable and just give in. And let's be honest, for the first 30 minutes, everything was going to plan.
Yep.
other than scoring goals. Let's go to Brian Ireland. Brian, when you saw the starting lineup, what did you think? And when you saw the first 30 minutes, what were you predicting? 3-0, 4-0 Spurs?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, the first half an hour is incredible. The starting lineup was really what I wanted to see. I think we talked about Decky getting into that 10 position because we wanted to see a player with a little bit more versatility, a bit more mobile and creative, getting balls between the lines, setting people up. I thought Lo Celso played really well in that first half an hour with Bentancur beside him. I think when we lost Bentancur, that's was a big part of the change in the game. And the amount of chances we had, we just needed to finish some of those. I mean, Decky hitting the post, Sonny off. How many offsides goals did we have called back in that first bit? So difficult one. I think he got it right. I think the team are playing, no matter who plays, are playing Ange football. They're playing what he's asking them to do, and they're doing it really well, seemingly for a period of time. And then you bring in Højbjerg and things start to get a little I don't know, just disjointed, and it just starts to, especially defensively. I found Royal. I thought Royal was fine as a right-sided center back. He has a bit of pace on him. He's better than Dyer. So I didn't think that was anything wrong with that. I just think the injury of Bentancur kind of fucked us and put us in a scenario where we had to play some of the players that I don't think Ange wanted to play, clearly, because they were on the bench. So difficult results to get, considering the football was really good for about 20-25 minutes at the beginning. I was like, wow, I was just shocked because that starting lineup, 6 first-team players not in it that normally we would see, and we're still playing that way. So all encouraging and really, really encouraging to see that the whole squad's bought into it. It's just, I don't think, the further you get into your squad, the harder it is to get them to be good enough to do what it is he's asking to do. Hence the starting 11 being what it is, and the depth not being what it needs to be. So yeah, very, very good 30 minutes. And then, we'll talk about the rest of it after, I suppose.
Brian, so Brian Ireland's told us about the first 30 minutes. What did you make of the remaining 60 minutes? I don't think we were bad. Obviously, Bentancur's injury did unbalance the midfield a little bit. We didn't quite have the subs to come off the bench the way that Aston Villa had the subs. But Spurs were in that game up until the end, although, okay, when Skip Højbjerg were on the pitch, it kind of just felt like this is it. But how did you feel the next 60 minutes?
Well, I'll start with what I thought of the lineup, because it will lead right into where I was going. So when I saw that lineup, I thought, you know what, that lineup has been made to absolutely dismantle Nottingham Forest, Aston Villa. I don't know where Nottingham Forest even came. I'm talking about I looked at it and saw that team was ready to just rip Aston Villa apart, like literally destroy them. And technically, if we had
minus the finishing
chances away, that's exactly what would have happened. Like with Peter Potch in the last year when we won, when we didn't lose at home, that team was geared to absolutely just destroy Villa. What it didn't take into mind is anything coming behind us. So going forward, it was geared to destroy. To defend, it was not set up for. When you look at it, some people are blaming our defence. You can look at this one of two ways. I've been looking at the way we lost. You either look at it and say, did the defence fall asleep for the 2 goals, which people are saying, but I look at it as Aston Villa had 5 attempts on target, scored 2 goals, a 40% conversion rate. We had 18 attempts on goal, 8 on target.
Here we go.
And I said that without even looking at it. Someone I think I've done my research. So you look at it, and this has been Tottenham's problem, not just this season. Even with Kane, there's been so many times where we create so many bloody chances and we do not take them. And before Romero and Van der Ven came in the lapse from Toby and Jan to Romero and Dyer, if we don't take our chances up there, we haven't had the defence to hold it out. And that's exactly what happened. And it got shown again. Yes, Salah had 3 offside goals, but if you don't put your chances away, especially when we've got a weakened defence, you're asking for trouble.
Yeah.
And it's exactly what happened.
Shy, let me ask you this question, okay? So, if you look at the stats, we dominated possession, dominated total shots, dominated on-target shots, passing accuracy, clear-cut chances were equal, dominated corners. If you go a bit more deeper, big chances were equal. hit the woodwork more than them, more counterattacks, more counterattack shots, more shots inside the box. Expected goals, XG, if you're into stats, was higher. Expected assists, higher. If you look at every attacking metric, Spurs dominated that game, right?
Mhm.
Now, my question for you is this. This was our B team almost. Jose couldn't do it with the B team. Conte couldn't do it with the B team. So my question for you, Shai, is when you look at those stats against a really good Aston Villa team, let's have it right. They're a really good side, good, brilliant manager. These B team players under this manager in less than 3 months put in a performance of that level. What do you make of Ange when you look at what he's had to deal with? He's only had one transfer window, the injury crisis. Even when you look at the injuries, Phillips, Romero, Van der Ven, Sessegnon, Perisic, Solomon, Madison, Sarr, Bentancur, Basuma, Bentancur again. These are suspensions as well, right? And these are starters, most of them. What do you make of Ange when you put all those variables together and you look at the attacking stats?
Yeah, he's done incredibly well. I mean, you could say he's punching above his weight with the time that he's had in one sense, but you know what he's instilled so quickly in that team, in that club is just amazing. I mean, it's incredible, really. I mean, it's so far away from where Conte and Mourinho have been. You know, this is the kind of football we've wanted to see for how many years? We spoke about it on how many shows about the football we wanted to see play. You know, to dare is to do. That's Tottenham Hotspur, and we're seeing that in this team, regardless of who's being put on the pitch. I mean, it's still work in progress. Let's get that straight. It's still working. There's a long way to go. There's players to go out. There's players to come in. We all know the squad depth is light. You know, we've got 12 good players there, but once a few of them go missing, we're going to struggle. But, you know, over a period of time, we're going to strengthen that squad, and you kind of hope for better things. That's why I think a lot of Spurs fans aren't going crazy at the moment over losing 3 in a row, because we quite easily could have won all 3 games. Let's get that straight. I think with Chelsea, if we kept 11 men on the pitch, we could have won that game easily, especially if Maddison and Van der Ven hadn't got injured, we would have won that. Wolves, all right, wasn't the greatest performance, but how close we were to winning that. And then again, chances wasted on Sunday, and we could have won that game too. So considering who's been injured and the setbacks we've had, we've still done pretty damn well. I don't think anyone's panicking. I'm sure you boys will say the same. We're not panicking. We've got 3 more tough games to come. We've got Man City away, which, you know, you could say is a write-off in one sense. So go out there and just give it a go. We've got West Ham at home, which I think is a crucial game. We need to be definitely winning that one. And Newcastle is going to be a tough one as well, the way they've been playing. But I think after that, we've got a pretty decent run. And hopefully we can get some points back on the board. But that start has helped us, hasn't it? That start we've had is a tremendous help. But I think Ange, you know, I don't think there's many Spurs fans that can turn around and say what Ange does has been incredible. It's remarkable. And it's only going to get better in the long term. As long as he's backed, that's the biggest one here, isn't it? As long as he's backed by Daniel Levy and the board, he's backed with the players that he wants to strengthen that squad, then I think we've got good things coming.
Shai, I just have to say, there's 4 of us on this screen, and if anyone was taking a bet of which person would have said Daniel Levy's name first, I think you would have been the least person they would have thought of.
Do you know what? Your T-shirt doesn't give it away. That's for sure.
No, I wouldn't have known.
I've been trying to work on making my message a bit clearer. I know it can get very lost in translation. I'm working on it.
Let's get into the game a bit more, right? Brian, Ireland. In fact, look, this is a free for all. I don't want to just, you know, Brian speaks, Shai.
Yeah.
Let's have a chat. Okay. Defensively, I've seen other channels call Ange naive. And part of me says, yeah, whatever. You're not looking at the bigger picture. It's a chance to dig at Spurs. That's what you do. That's how your channel functions. I've also seen some Spurs fans go on there and kind of feed the narrative as well. I'm like, whoa, just rein that in a minute. Hold on. Do you think Ange should change the way we play because we don't have the defenders at the club? Should we be less high up the pitch? Should we drop off a bit, as some fans say? Because I heard someone today I think it was a Man United fan, talk about, he was talking to like the other big 6 clubs, all their fan content creators. He was saying how Spurs run out of steam and we should drop off. And then there was no one on that show saying, but hold on a minute. If Spurs drop off, what does that mean? We sit back and absorb pressure. Because we did that for 3 years. How did that look? Because all of you criticised us for that.
Everybody hates
So
it when we
that's
do that. So yeah.
But they're saying do it in waves. So drop off 10, 15 minutes, then attack. Drop off. But Brian, Shy, are we capable of doing that with these players? Because Ange hasn't tried that. If we're going to be
I don't
honest.
think, if you don't mind going first, I don't think that whether we're capable or not, that Ange wants to do that, nor does he want to drill that at all in practice. I think he's in practice going, this is how we play. This is how we play. No matter what happens,
Is that the right
what
thing,
we're getting into our brains. It doesn't, I don't think it matters if it works every game. It's as if it works and will work eventually to the point where that's how we always play no matter what. And it starts to work regularly. I think he's done that everywhere he's gone. I think we got pretty lucky in the first 10 games when we, some of it was luck, some of it was good management and good playing. But, obviously the injuries have affected what's happened since then, but we're only going to play this way. And I don't mind it at all. And I'm not bothered by where we finish this season, if it's mid-table or not, because if he drills what he's drilling into these players and what we saw and what Shai was mentioning earlier about that sort of B team still playing at that level, still playing at the same kind of intense high press football. I think the reason we got done in this scenario is their offside trap was better than ours because we didn't have defenders who know how to play it. So they were able to get in behind. Whereas if we have seasoned defenders, that doesn't happen.
So to counter what you're saying there, then I'm just being there with that.
Sure, yeah, of course.
So you've just said their offside trap was better than ours because they had the defenders to do it. We didn't. So therefore, is there not a reason to then drop off? Because I don't think it is.
I get the reasoning. Like, I understand why people want to do that and why they think it's a good idea. I don't think Ange necessarily cares about every single result throughout this season. He's ingraining something into the team, into the squad of this is how we play football. And there's going to be scenarios, as he said, if we go down to 5, we're still going to have a crack. We're still going to go for it. I like that. I prefer that. I know that not everybody does. And I know that there's this idea of naivety. I don't think he's naive at all. I think Ange knows exactly what he's doing, and he expects to get varied results depending on who's available. And of course, he'd have to be kind of dumb to not realize that you're missing 6 of your first team players, that it's going to be a lot harder, but we're going to still try it anyways. And then they all understood it and they all tried it. And for a period of time, minus again losing another player in the middle of it, we dominated the game with a B team, or most of our players playing out of position. And so for me, all it does is says what's going to happen in the future. And I'm not too concerned about what happens now. If people, I think maybe there's a bit of people thinking that, oh, we had a chance for the title because we were top of the league. I mean, that's naive, not Ange.
Yeah.
You know what it is? It's not even about the fact. When we first got Ange, people said, like, he started at Celtic. He didn't get off to the best of starts at Celtic. And then they clicked and then they went. Obviously, the Premier League is different. So we thought these beatings, this tough run, this open where we're going to be caught out was going to be at the beginning. We all thought, like Poch. Poch didn't start off well, but then once he got it right, boom, off we went. We started so far ahead beyond our wildest expectations. We're like, oh my God, look at us go. What the hell is going on? We weren't expecting this straight away. We're now getting what we were expecting at the beginning, in my opinion. Help with the injuries. Hasn't helped that once again we have a great 11 when they're all fit, but then once a couple of them go, and in this instance at the moment a hell of a lot of them, it goes to pot. But this is the thing that I couldn't get. You go back to the Chelsea game, and I will use the Chelsea game. Yes, we're down to 9 men. They went 2-1 up in the 74th minute. Around the 74th minute, from what I remember. Dyer had his own goal disallowed. Son should have scored. We were going for the draw.
Bentancur missed a
goal
from about 40 yards.
We won that game with 9 men the way we were playing.
Yeah. We were going for the draw, which is what we wanted to see. Rather than just sitting back and going, oh, we've lost this 2-1, let's just stop it.
Let's not lose that bad.
We could have got the draw. And then we conceded too late. Listen, was it tactically naive? In a way, yes. But we tried and we tried and we tried. Our fan base still, as you know and famously say, and you and me get called out for it, we can't win as Spurs fans. If we're too defensive, oh no, why are you trying it so boring? Then if you go for it, why have you gone for it? Why have you done? You can't win. Up until Chelsea, if it had been 1-1 and we got to the 90th or 85th minute and we're still doing that, you're like, all right, just try and get that point. Try and get that point. I would rather have us gone for 2-2 and lost how we did rather than just had gone, right, do you know what, 2-1, shut up shop. We had so many opportunities to score. I would have thought Basuma would have had more in the game. He didn't. That's by the by. But you can't have it that you wanted attacking football and go, yes, we're going to see attacking football. And then when we get the attacking football and it doesn't work, you go, oh, well, we're tactically naive. He's trying. He is
It's
trying.
the opposite of naive. He knows exactly what he's doing. Like it's with intention. It's obvious it's intentional. It's just a matter of if is it always going to work, and then sometimes it will, and sometimes it won't.
Shy, what's your take on this? Because you know what, I was saying to one fan who's arguing with me, saying, "Oh, this manager's naive. What's he doing? He can't adapt." And I said, "But hold on a minute. We've been crying out since Poch for a manager that lives to the motto: to dare is to do. Is this guy not daring like more than most? Like, surely he's doing what." He just hasn't got the players yet. Like, what do you make of it? Is he a bit naive defensively? Do you think? Or
listen, I think with traditional football, you could see how people are going to debate this argument. It's obvious to see why. It's not something we're used to as Spurs fans. It's not something many people are used to seeing tactics played like this. Yeah, I think we can agree on that. What we need to understand, which Brian Ireland's already said, is the fact that this is the way this guy is going to play. And there's nothing that's going to change his opinion on that and how they're going to play. It's going to be that way. And as Spurs fans, we just need to accept that it's going to be this way.
And enjoy it, really.
Exactly. We're going to win some, we're going to lose some. But I think over the long term, once he gets his squad in place, we'll win more than we lose. And we'll be up there. That's what I think will happen. But yeah, you can see the debate over opinion on the tactics. I understand it. I think if you've been in football long enough, you'd understand why people would question it. But the fact of the matter is, this is Ange football. This is Ange ball. This is the way he's going to play. Spurs fans are going to have to accept this while he's here. And we just have to go with the flow. We're going to have to go with it.
And enjoy it. It's fun as hell to watch, even when we lose. This is the thing that I've gotten out of this in the last game. I hate losing, obviously. The Wolves one hurt more because of the manner in which we lost. But that Villa game, I mean, it was frustrating. Losing 2-1 sucks, but I didn't. And at the end of the game, I'm normally miserable when we lose. I'm like, I don't want to talk to anybody. I can't walk around. All I'm thinking of is all I did was watch crap football for 90 minutes. I'm sorry, I was entertained as hell for the entire 90 minutes, even though we lost. So I wasn't angry. I wasn't annoyed. I had a sense of, okay, I know where we're going. I know we're not there yet, and it's going to take some time, but I felt really good about it still, despite the loss. So I think that's the difference. But for me, anyways, and I don't know if everybody else agrees, but
unfortunately, we're going to have that patience game again, aren't we?
Yeah, 100%.
Patience.
100%.
Patience again.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. I'm losing patience with some of our fans and a lot of the opposing fans, and I'll tell you why. Because I just can't handle the hypocrisy. Right. We've got a manager here that is doing all the right things, yet we're being told he's doing all the wrong things, okay? We were crying out at the start of the season, stop playing Son on the left. He's got to play middle. What did he do? He moved him to the middle. Like, he did it.
He keeps doing all the things we want, and then they complain still.
But Brian, we're literally crying out, don't play Dyer again. He dropped Dyer for a wing back. You're like, he's doing the things. Man, put Brennan Johnson on the right. Stop playing him. He plays him on the right. Bring Chord into the middle.
Put Decky in the middle. Exactly. Yeah, plays him in the middle.
He's literally doing all the things we as fans would like to see. He's giving it a go in so many ways. It's still not working. So obviously, it's not him. It's the lack of quality that we've got on the pitch. And fans are going in at times. And I just think, do you know what, guys? You're forgetting what you said 2 weeks ago, man, because he's doing all that starting lineup. I don't know one Spurs fan that wasn't a bit more excited about watching the game now, thinking, do you know what? I'm actually interested to watch this now, because before I've written this off.
Yep.
It's like it's funny. Still, we said it, didn't we? We spoke about it before. There's no way he's going to play Gio and Bentancur and that in the same. We said no chance. We said it before the game.
And they were brilliant. Gio looked great beside Bentancur. He looked so much more free and more like free flowing, and his passing was better, and he just looked like alive. Yeah, it's all the things.
Kulu in the middle, Brian. Kulu looked really good as well.
Yeah, exactly. I'd say keep him there for Madison and have Gio play in one of the sixes. It's great to see that these players like that we've kind of written off are looking a little bit like they have something to offer in the situation we're in. Obviously, when we get the players back, the ones that we know are going to be in that starting 11, and it's going to be probably February now before we see that happen. We'll go on a really good run for the end of the season if we can stay fit, and we'll have hopefully get some players in January to fill in some of those spaces as well. But yeah, I don't get why people are complaining about this. It's been the funnest season I've watched, and it's not even Christmas yet, so
It's like
just enjoy the shit out of it.
It's like Pep, Klopp, Arteta, Ferguson, every manager. No, give him time. After 3 months, no, Ange, he's naive.
Yeah,
no, Ange, no.
Come on.
Can't handle the pressure. It's the Premier League. It's too big. The thing I've noticed to add to this is that in the Premier League, his football mentality and the way he wants to play is really well educated. Really well, he understands what he wants to do with the players on the pitch. He has better players now, so arguably they're going to understand that style better and the tactics better because they're smarter footballers. Their IQ's higher when it comes to the football. So arguably that's why it's happening quicker. And of course, these players have also been playing boring defensive football for 4 seasons and are sad about it. So they finally getting to play attacking fun football. And it's just a massive difference. And just enjoy it. Enjoy it. It's going to be up and down. We all knew it. And we're just going to go through a period of frustration and get through the other side with hopefully somewhat intact, and then we can strive for that top 5 position. I think the fifth position will be arguably available this year for that Champions League spot, and that's what we should be aiming for.
Do any of you guys think that if I'm saying if 3 times, we lose to Man City and West Ham, and then it becomes a bit of a situation now where we are tumbling down the table because Man United found a bit of rhythm, Newcastle there or thereabouts, Villa on the up, and suddenly we're like 7th, 8th. That's the time where people need to hold their nerve, right?
Yeah, that's going to be the hardest.
It's shades of Arteta finishing 8th, right? It's got shades of it. Do you think, Shai, Brian Daigle, let's bring you guys in.
Yep.
Do you think we will hold our nerve as a fan base? Because I'm guessing from here, look, we will. But as a wider fan base, because when people start bantering on social media, Spursy, TalkSport, people begin to kind of get sucked into it. Do you think the fans will hold their nerve if that happens?
I think the majority will. Listen, at the end of the day, every fan's got their own opinion, okay? And they will always voice their own opinion. Some will go mad, some won't. Some will be sensible, some won't. It's just the nature of the game, and that's what will happen. But I think in general, personally, I think you can see the fruits will be bearing at some point, and I think you got to be silly not to see that coming. I mean, once players are back fit again, and say once the squad is strengthened, then I can't see us not doing well. I think we'll be so much better once that. We've just been in a very unfortunate period. That Chelsea game was a real downer for us in terms of the injuries, suspensions, everything. That's kind of a snowball effect for the rest of these games. But I think, we're going to come out the other end eventually in the right place, I'm sure. And I think the majority of fans will believe in that, I'm sure.
Well, so you're asking, will the fans stick with Ange? Still, listen, this is a hard question for you and me. This is a real hard question for you and me because I haven't got a clue what this fan base is going to do. I honestly don't. We are about 4 managers into this is his last chance. Everyone gets blamed. I don't know. I mean, if, like Ireland said, like we all spoke to Darius to do, this manager is doing everything we want. He's brilliant with the let's not forget how good he is with the media. Antonio Conte and Jose Mourinho's press conferences were the most boring, predictable, it's all about me press conferences you could ever see. This guy is refreshing. This guy you want to hear. You want to listen to him. He's got that aura about him. He is, if you were to pick a Spurs manager, he's got everything I want in a Spurs manager.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I agree.
But it comes to the point, what cracks first? Would it be what you and me are very, very heavily involved in still and what we want to sing non-stop? Or is it they'll start turning on Ange? And unfortunately, I think a majority of this fan base will turn on Ange. And if they do, it just makes absolutely no sense to me whatsoever. No sense. We haven't had a match. You've got to remember, when people said to me, what's my hopes for the season, to deem this season a success, the first thing I said was to end the season with the manager we started with. which we haven't done since Poch. That's how bad things have been.
Yeah.
Yep.
Very good point.
So people cannot loving that shirt, Tom. By the way, loving that shirt you're wearing in your avatar. By the way, that's a great shirt.
Yeah, nice shirt, Tom.
Great
Well
shirt.
done,
But yeah,
How do I counter that? How do I counter that? Hold on.
There you go. There you go.
But yeah, that's for me. I mean, this fan base can't turn on Ange. They just can't.
I mean, there's no alternative really that will please anyone after Ange. Someone that's going to come in, play great football with average players, get fans excited again, and make us feel optimistic that if he's backed. Whereas, okay, we can have a debate. Was Mourinho backed? Was Conte backed? It seems this guy might not need that level of backing. He seems to be able to work with players of that level below, which is probably what we're going to have to accept. That's what we are. Under Levy and Enoch, love them, hate them. That's what we are, right? We're not going to sign Bastonis and Agueros and De Bruynes. We're going to have to look for the Van der Vens, the Madisons on a bargain, the Vicarios. But then again, the way they're playing, do we care if Ange can make them play the way they were playing?
Exactly. As long as they fit the system, they've got to fit the system. And they've got to be players that he wants, and we have to trust in Ange and say, well, look, if that's what Ange wants, if that's who he wants to fit his system, we've got to go with it. You know, we've got to back the manager ourselves. The fans have to back the manager as well as the club. We have to back the manager and give him faith at the end of the day.
I have seen something I've liked during home games is just the fans, even when we're down, really singing full voice, not letting the scoreline get to them, but and also enjoying the football. So it's good to see that from our fans, that they are backing the team and the coach as well. But yeah, hopefully that lasts. I think it's a tough one to determine whether we're going to see a mass exodus of Spurs fans. I think we'll see a few who are going to, there's always the ones who like to get in, dig in and slag off whatever's happening, whatever way they can, and don't want to back them. But it's gonna be a tough run. It's gonna be to the end of January. We're gonna be struggling, I think, until some players are brought in, some injuries, players come back from their injuries.
Just looking at some of these comments, I think most people in the comments are quite supportive of Ange. Most people are, people that are against him just shut up. What are you talking about? With the match on the weekend, there was one thing that I was a bit concerned about. It's the only thing that really two things that concerned me. One, the front three. For as well as we played as a team, that the fact we couldn't put the ball in the back of the net concerns me, because are the front three at Spurs good enough, guys? Are our front three good enough where they can create and be clinical? Because Brennan Johnson, I know he's only just joined Spurs, but he's got Premier League experience already, and I'm just not seeing enough from him to say, yeah, that's a £45 million signing. I'm a little bit worried. I'm not going to lie to you. Brian Hill, for all the bopping and weaving and passing, he did put one good cross in for Sonny. Sonny should have done better probably, but when he had a chance, he shot it straight at the goalie. And then Son, Son, we know he's better than what we saw, but as a front three as a whole, are we good enough, do you guys think? That's the first thing that kind of worried me a little bit.
No, I will say, though, I actually think Brennan Johnson's going to be a huge asset. I really, when we were going for him, I didn't understand the transfer. I thought, why aren't we getting another striker? Because Son was out on the left, and I thought Richie would be in the middle. And I thought that was Johnson against Villa. His final ball just let him down. But I look at what we saw with Aston Villa. I'm calling them Aston Villa now, and I actually mean Nottingham bloody Forest. Nottingham Forest. My God, what is wrong with me? Don't answer that. Nottingham Forest. The second half of the season, he keeps them up. He's devastating. He's one of the quickest players in the Premier League. He's 22, I think he's just turned. I honestly think he will come good. I think he will come good, and he can play in multiple positions. The left wing is a problem. Obviously, Solomon's got to come back. The left wing is a problem. And let's face it, this has not been a quick fix. Harry Kane has dug us out time after time. And if it weren't Kane, there was Son. Well, now there's Son, and there's Son, and there's Son. We're not ruthless enough. We need reinforcements. You can't expect. What is it now? Hill is what, 21? Johnson's 22. Kulusevski's what, 23?
23, yeah.
We need someone that's ruthless. We need someone that can contribute the goals. Is it good enough for top four right now? No, I don't think it is.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's an interesting question. Of course, these players that we're talking about, that's the first 90 minutes or attempted 90 minutes that they played together. They trained together, of course, so they're going to know each other a little bit. That's Gill's first start. I think Brennan Johnson's maybe second or third start in the season so far. He's been in and out of the team from injury. Decky, for me, is the one that needs to step up. He's the one who needs to finish that first chance that hits the post. He's the one in that 10 role that really needed to give them as much opportunity to finish. And Sonny had a bad game. I don't know that I would, looking at that game, say is the front three good enough. I do think we need a reinforcement, at least one forward, so that they can play in maybe in two or three of those positions in the front three. But I think it's too soon to say. I think with all this chopping and changing that has had to be done because of injuries, it's really hard to get consistency and continuity and understanding the players around you. When we had those first 10 games and it was the same players each, maybe the left winger rotated a little bit, but it was arguably your Madison was the same, Sonny was the same up the middle, like Decky on the right. So you kind of had this continuity that was always there. And I think we've lost that because of this situation that we're in. So I don't think that an upgrade is a bad idea. I don't think it's enough of a data set to say that they're not good enough yet. But I do think Johnson will come good. I think he just needs a run of games and a bit of confidence. But I do worry about that left side a little bit as well. Especially Richarlison was kind of starting to do okay until his injury kicked in. So there's a need for a forward for sure in January. But and it needs to be a good upgrade, a good finisher that's proven, I think.
Shy, we've got if you look at the games we were winning, it was Son and Madison scoring all the goals, and occasionally Emerson Morale popped up with one against Brentford, Van der Ven against, I think he scored a couple this season, Romero
Decky's got a couple as well, right?
Decky got a couple. But in general, our midfield outside of Madison, Pape Sarr, Bissouma, Bentancur, Skip, Obier, even the wide players, Brennan Johnson, Brian Hill, there's a real lack of goals in this team. Like, what would you like to see Spurs do in January? I don't want to go into the transfer window yet, but in terms of discussing the front three, what are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, well, I mean, Brian Ireland made a good point about Kulusevski. I mean, Kulusevski is a talented player, right? He's strong on the ball. He can dribble, not the paciest, but he can create. He can score. But we haven't seen enough, in my opinion, with Kulu. I think we need to see more goals. I think we need to see more assists. He's 23, granted. He's still young. He's still got time ahead of him. But I feel, like Brian Ireland said, I think I want to see more from him. I really do want to see more in an attacking sense of creating and scoring more goals. Because, this lack of goals from midfield. Bissouma doesn't score many goals. Pape Sarr doesn't look to score many goals. Madison, yes. But this is another thing. I mean, I know, Gio's a debate for most Spurs fans, but he is capable of scoring goals, Gio, and he proved that on the weekend. He can strike a ball and he can score.
And pre-season, pre-season.
Yeah, exactly. So for that reason, I think he's a good fit for the team at the moment because we need those goals and they're not coming from certain places in that team. Sonny, for me, he's always been the kind of person that comes in and he does a good job. Is he an out-and-out striker? No, not for me. He isn't. I mean, I think me and JP spoke about this. I mean, in terms of, he's very good on the counter when you get the ball in front of him and he's running forward in on goal and cuts inside his right foot and puts it away, that kind of thing. But when a team's playing deeper against us and he's got his back to goal or whatever, I think you probably need an alternative. I think Sonny is good for now, but I still think we need a top drawer finisher as a number 9 up front for me. Left-hand side's been a problem. I think Perisic, believe it or not, I at the beginning of the season, I thought, do you know what? If he goes, he goes. But do you know what? He's probably the best crosser of the ball that we've got in that.
That's
squad.
Left winger, natural left winger.
Yeah, exactly. His delivery into the box is a big miss. I think that's a huge miss for us. I mean, Richarlison was scoring goals, when he was putting the ball in, and stuff like that. So I think he's been a big miss, Perisic, to be fair. But yeah, I've kind of said most of this season that I don't think the front three's clicked. I don't think that they've clicked yet, and there's still work to be done, in my opinion. In fact, probably the defense has played with Van der Ven and Romero and Porro and Udogie. That's probably been the best.
And the keeper,
and
Vicario as well.
Oh my gosh, what a signing he's been.
Weakness has become our strength, Shy.
Yeah, no, I think you are spot on, Brian. I think the forward line definitely needs tweaking or it needs improving, in my opinion, because we don't get enough goals from the midfield three other than Maddison. There's not enough. Basuma probably should be scoring more. Doesn't. Papasar doesn't score goals. Skip doesn't really score goals. Højbjerg, yeah, you know.
Shy, do you know what? This isn't a new thing either, right? Even when we had our full squad, okay, not just Shy, but Brian and Brian.
Yep.
Against Luton Town, first 15 minutes, should have been 3-0 up. Against Chelsea, we were at them.
We've done it. We've done it a lot. Yeah, we've done it a lot.
We do have a finishing problem at the club. If Sonny isn't on it, we're kind of, oh no, it's not going to. You can hear it in the stands on the weekend. Fans were saying this is not going to happen, is it? It's just not going to happen. You can feel it building up as well in the stadium. Fans didn't believe we were going to score.
Yeah, I think when they scored too, when they got their second goal, that was kind of like, I don't know how we're going to get back into this. The way the finishing is gone today, just missing everything, hitting posts. But we hit 2 posts, and their keeper Martinez made a couple of really good saves as well. So the chances are there, and you're right. It is a finishing problem that needs to be addressed.
I mean, I'm frustrated with the. Sorry, but I was going to say I'm frustrated with the amount of offside goals we've scored. How many offside goals have we scored this season?
Sonny is
ridiculous.
It's
oh my god!
You know what it is, though. You know what it is. I remember 2 seasons very, very clear. One with Liverpool, one with Spurs. When Liverpool had that season where Gerrard slipped, and it was Sturridge and Suarez, they were finishing games before half time. They were done. They were clear. Half time. Let's move on to the next game. That final season at the Lane with Poch, Watford, Bournemouth, Westbrook, games were over before half time because you had Kane, Ericsson, Ali, everyone was chipping. Sonny. We were ruthless. We could not. Games were done by half time. It was like, right, let's roll on to the next one. We're creating these chances now, but I've just mentioned for Liverpool, they had Sterling, Suarez, Sturridge, and Sturridge was on fire that season. With us, with Poch, we had the 4. We had Dele, Ericsson, Son, Kane. Well, now it's Son.
Brian, you mentioned Harry Kane, right? Is the current situation at Spurs, the conversation we're having right now, is this not further proof of how bloody good Harry Kane actually was?
No, it's
mate, listen, I mean,
because some fans did say, "Oh, Kane, we don't need him. Look at us play." Is this not now debunking what people were saying 2 months ago? Actually, guys, you always need Kane.
I think so. I think there's a bit of pushback on that. Go ahead, Brian. You go first.
No, the record he set, and it's just a stupid record, but it just goes to show. I don't know if people saw it. Sky made a big thing about it. He played his 12th game in the Bundesliga. He is already the record goal scorer for an English player in the Bundesliga. And you had Kevin Keegan, in one season. He is the first English player to score 18 goals in the Bundesliga. And he scored 18 league goals. Now, people go, oh, he's gone to a Farmers League, He's
doing it in the Champions League as well, though.
He's scored more. He's over 20 goals. He's scored 18 Bundesliga goals. And he's got, I think he's in the...
I'm backing you up by saying people saying it's a Farmers League, but he's also doing it in the Champions League. That's not.
This is the thing. But then this is what gets me. People say, "Oh, he's going to smash it. He's in the Bundesliga," but then we've got fans saying that we should go get Jadon Sancho. He's been crap at Man City. They're going, he was great at Borussia Dortmund, but wait a minute, that's the Farmers League. Harry Kane's gone to a Farmers League, so he's always going to do well there.
I think the idea of a Farmers League is a bit silly.
No, it's ridiculous. Bundesliga is the closest to the Premier League.
It is. So there's a massive drop off though at the halfway point of their league, and the bottom half of that league is pretty crap. And so the stats are gonna get a bit padded, but it's Harry Kane. He has to do what he has to do to finish. I just push back a little bit. I do think Maddison and Ange were sort of the replacement for Kane, and when Maddison was in and creating, then we were seeing that we weren't missing him that much. But that loss of Maddison, I think, losing that 10, because people forget how much Kane created as well as scored, from dropping deep and dictating play. We miss that, I think, is more than we miss his goals, probably, if we were fit. If we were fit, I don't think we'd be having this conversation. We'd be too worried about it. It's just when you lose all those players. When we lost Kane, it was the same thing. Where's all the creativity going to come from? So we've kind of lost our Kane replacement at the same time as everybody else that's gotten injured at the same time. So it's a difficult situation. But yeah, I mean, having Kane in that game at Villa, we win 5-0. It's like, or maybe 5-1, but like there's goals scored because Kane's a ruthless.
Okay.
Oh, I think Kane, we destroy Luton. I think I think Chelsea, maybe the first 15 minutes we get better cushion. We definitely beat Villa. There was two things I said that I was a little bit worried about. One was the front three. The other was the defensive situation. And let me explain. By the way, we've got 200 people watching. Please smash a like, subscribe to Tottenham on Tour, Tottenham Away. Thanks for watching the 150th episode,
Thanks,
guys. Right. Every set piece, I was worried because every time it came in, we didn't have the height at the back. And I'm thinking, crap, the only alternative is Dyer. But that causes a different problem.
Yeah.
So that worried me. And even when the ball's on the ground, right? So let me just take a couple of still frames. Nothing really amazing, but just some basic still frames. Aston Villa, Tielemans makes a short-range pass to Ollie Watkins. Lo Celso does put a boot out, but it goes through the legs. And then you have circled in blue Emerson and Ben Davies. Ollie Watkins takes one touch. They do close the gap, but there's not a block. There's not a tackle. Second shot, brilliant finish, okay? He finds the bottom corner. Now, if this scenario here is Van de Ven and Romero, someone's putting a block, a tackle. We just watch them do it all season long, right? That's not happening.
No.
What do we do about the defensive situation? Because I've got a feeling we're going to go to Man City, and I think we're going to give them a game. I do. I think we're going to give them a game, but I also think they're going to tear our defense to shreds.
Holland is going to kill us.
What? Haaland, what's his name?
Silva.
Doku is going to.
Yeah, he's quick.
Right. He's skillful and he can score. What do we do defensively going into this game? Because this story broke today. Postecoglou said he's had an honest conversation with Eric Dyer over his position and his plans. A stance Dyer has appreciated, but as long as Postecoglou's in charge, it's increasingly clear Dyer stays. Eric Dyer's days at Tottenham are numbered. Basically, Ange just told him, "Look, you're not part of my plans." However, Dyer's contract expiring in the summer. There's no guarantees Dyer would even be open to leaving in January. So he might be with us to the end of the season. But Ange doesn't really fancy him. Okay. I don't think any of us have got with that. But until replacement comes in and we've got these injuries, do you play Dyer just so we've got some kind of aerial threat against Haaland? Or does that compromise us in a different way? Shai, let me come to you first. Defensively, what do we do in the Man City game? Because that's where Villa won it. Villa won it because they didn't need many chances, but our defense just wasn't good enough.
Yeah, we pray to God. That's what we do.
Cutting edge analysis on.
We pray to God. That's all we can do. Put your hands together and pray. No, I mean, it's a very good debate, actually. I mean, I think we all know our thoughts on Eric Dyer, but at the same time, he is a natural centre half. We can't not acknowledge that. But what do you do? It's a very close toss-up, really, between playing him or not. I see the reasons you say for playing him, but at the same time, you can see the reasons for not playing him. I think it's a very difficult one. I mean, it's no secret that we probably need one or two centre halves come January. I'd probably only get one. We probably need two cover, really, unless they're thinking of Dorrington or Phillips coming in as the fourth choice, which is a possibility. But in this moment in time, I think it's going to be very difficult. I mean, Haaland's the machine at the end of the day, and trying to stop him, any team to stop him, even with Romero and Van de Ven, it would be difficult. But the only thing I can say is I don't think Man City are on it at the moment as much as they were last
Losing
season.
2-0 right now to Leipzig.
Yeah, apparently losing 2-0 now. So that's my only hope for the weekend, really, the fact that they're not quite on it at the moment. But I think I think it's going to be, whether it's good or bad, it's going to be refreshing to see us play City on Sunday, because it's not going to be the way we've played them in recent seasons and got results. It's not going to be that way. It's going to be
there'll be no sitting back for counter.
Exactly. There'll be no. And you know what?
Shy, don't call me at 5-0 down then. I won't answer. I'll say, no, it's refreshing, Shy. Keep watching.
The thing is, at least we're going to go and have a go at them. And sometimes teams don't have a go at City. They don't. They're too scared to have a go at City. They just don't do it. So it's going to be very interesting to see, the outcome of this. Listen, I don't think anyone would be surprised if we lose on Sunday, but it will be interesting to see how we go at them and what they do about us, kind of thing, going forward, and our highline and all the rest of it. But in regards to your question, Stel, with Dyer, I really don't know. I have no idea.
I've been thinking about it since you asked.
Yeah, it's a difficult one.
There isn't really a solution other than trying out some of these younger players. I think we just have to just give it a shot. Chuck in Dorrington, chuck in Phillips. I know Phillips isn't fit anymore, anyways. But when you have those players sitting there, and there's a good chance we're going to be giving teams opportunities to score and get them behind us, we got to give them a chance. I mean, what's the difference between obviously there's a difference, but the age-wise, you think about the age. Van de Ven's a young lad. He's got good skill set. Phillips, young lad, good skill set. Big fella, he's strong on the ball. He's got the attributes to play in that position. If he was fit now, of course, I know he's not now, and so it's sort of moot. But you got to try these players. Just if there's a good chance we're going to lose anyway, it's almost like the same thing as we're down to 9 men. We may as well go for it. Well, we're playing against Man City. We may as well go for it. We may as well just put some players in there and see how they play, see what they can offer in those positions. I don't think putting Dyer back in is any remote. Doesn't matter what his supposed position is as a defender or a defensive midfielder or whatever. He's just not good enough. He just makes those silly mistakes. They're the same every time. He gets caught. He's too slow, and it's useless. So it's sort of just have to accept that's the case, and then try something. And I think Ange has done that. He's done a really good job of it. Obviously against Villa with the center halves as like having 4 fullbacks in the back line. He's trying something. He's going, I'm going to give this a shot. I think doing it with some of the youth players, there's some quality in there, and they're going to want to step up. I think for me that would be the thing to try, even if it does meaning we get spanked, because we're probably going to get spanked anyway.
Brian, you've been quite vocal on social media about the youngsters. Okay,
yeah.
What's your take on this? Because the youngsters haven't been given a chance. If we're going to be straight up, they haven't, and unless you consider Veliz coming on for 8
off the
minutes.
bench for 10 minutes.
Yeah. And the occasional run out for a little bit of a run out for a Brian Hill or that's it really.
Yep.
Why? I try to think. Was there anyone else I've missed? Why is Ange not doing it? Now, I've got my theory on it. It'd be good to hear what you guys think. Because the last 5 managers, so we're talking about Conte, Jose, Nuno. I'm going to put Stellini and Mason as one, because they were kind of a bit of a double act, I guess.
Yep.
The same thing happened. Now, Conte said the academy aren't good enough. They're like the players aren't ready. Jose Mourinho, I don't know why. I don't. He gave Skip a chance. Mourinho brought through Skip, so he did do one. Nuno didn't do any. Ryan Mason and Stellini didn't do any. So far, Ange hasn't done any either. What's the reason behind this? Because it keeps happening at Spurs, especially with all the talk about the 17-year-old who debuted for Newcastle and they've got injury problems. And
the Man United had a player, an 18-year-old, come on.
Manu.
If you look at our youth academy, and I try to pay as much attention as I can to watching the youth academy as I can, and obviously people will know my feelings towards a certain guy that's at Port Vale right now that I've been banging on about for ages in Alfie. You look at this, and when you analyse it, Pochettino came in, and when things weren't going well, obviously he gave Harry Kane not his chance because Sherwood brought him through, but threw him in and said, right, I can't trust Adebayor or Soldado to play my football. In you go. We know what happened. People forget that he brought in Mason and Bentaleb. Now, obviously, they didn't succeed at Tottenham in the long run, but our fortunes turned when he got them two in the centre of midfield and everything started to click. He threw them in. He also brought Harry Winks in. Again, didn't work out, but started off well. Then all of a sudden, near the end, we had Makawende, we had Edwards, and whatever. And it got towards the end where he weren't trusting the youth. For whatever it may be, whether he didn't back them or he wanted to make money or the club wanted to, they went. Jose and Conte, we know, aren't renowned for their youth. You look at it, this youth academy, we were told, was meant to be the be-all and end-all. It's going to harvest loads and loads of players. They're going to come through. They're going to do this. They're going to do that. And you look at it right now, and we keep playing the same players that have let managers down time after time after time. And then I started bringing up to people, I was like, so why is it that Arsenal, when people go, oh, you can't chuck them in the deep end, you might knock their confidence.
Brian,
gone.
Can I, just one thing you said there, right?
Yep.
Not to interrupt you.
Go.
The players that keep letting us down, each new manager doesn't know what they're like until they play them in their system. So just been a little bit.
Yeah, but you look at it, it didn't work. Dyer, for example, I think was fantastic for Poch when he played defensive midfield that first season. I think that was his best season for us. Then it all went. Sure. Mourinho came in, and obviously there's the Portuguese link, and said he loved him there. Conte said it, whether they fully believed it or he's doing the manager thing to do whatever. Someone also just meant Jason, big up Jason, bro. I spoke to you for a while. Onamar came through as well. We did bring you through. Now you look at it, and everyone goes, you can't play them because you can't chuck them in the deep end. Well, that's how I grew up. Or in life, you experience things. You might knock their confidence. Well, when you get a promotion at work, you don't go.
What's the reason that Ange isn't?
I'm getting. You look at it now, and people say, no, you can't do it. Did Arsenal say that with Nketiah, Smith Rowe, and Saka? Did Man City say it with Lewis and others? Did Liverpool say it with Harvey Elliott right now and Trent Alexander? Did Chelsea do it with Gallagher and what they're doing with... Every team is doing it. I've started saying that I think not Levy, but there's something going on upstairs where we're not giving youth a chance anymore. We're just simply not doing it because do you carry on doing the same... The version of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting something different. And then
Brian, that Ange is going to start now because we've said this. He's going to start some youth at the weekend.
Look at it, and people said to me, I hear people saying,
I don't have a choice.
I hear people saying, on one side of the coin, surely Levy would want them to come in because it's cheaper than spending money. And then I say, yeah, you got a point there, but I'll put it on the other side. Is it we're not trusting them because it could cost us Champions League money? So it's whatever way you want to look at it. Do we use them and save money on transfers? Do we not use them because we want to get Champions League and we don't trust them? There is something going on at this football club, and I'm not putting this on Levy, but obviously he's overseeing everything. Why is every other big team... Someone said with Newcastle, the reason that 17-year-old played was because Newcastle were decimated with injuries. Hello? Look at us. Why do we keep doing this? Like you said, why are we playing 4 fullbacks? 4 fullbacks in a back 4. They make a mistake. Listen, Japhet Tanganga. Sorry, Jose Mourinho brought Tanganga in. Debut against Liverpool. Out of the blue. No one even knew who this guy was. That game, he played a blinder. Ledley King, and I'm not comparing our youth to Ledley. This club used to give youth a chance. This club believed in youth, and they did beginning of Poch. Since beginning of Poch, it's like they don't even exist. And right now, you think about, you might rock their confidence or whatever. Every single one of our youth team are top of the league. Every single one of our youth team, they are flying and their confidence is high. Is there a better time to play them?
Yeah, I think you're right, Brian. I really want to see it. I think it's desperate to see it. I just... I don't. It's hard to predict as to what's going on, but it needs to be needs to be considered this weekend. I mean, we're going to need not even just this weekend up until January. What else are we going to do? We're not going to have anybody back. Well, I guess Romero's back after City, right? Or is it West Ham? When is
Yeah, we
Romero
chucked
back?
Joe Roden in. Sorry to Brian. We
After
chucked Joe
City.
Roden in.
Yeah.
Youngster.
I don't know.
We can do
I don't
that
know.
when it's one of our own. No. I don't get it.
Yeah,
don't
and they're
get
doing
you
so well
having
at youth
mistake.
level too. They're performing already. So confidence aside, bring them in. Let's see it.
And they're playing the exact same way as that. Shai, you're a youth football coach. What's going on here? What's going on?
Right. Okay. I've got maybe a slightly different opinion on this, and hear me out on this one. So I've been watching the under-21s play a few games this season, and they've been awesome at under-21 level. They're top. They've been top of the league. They've been playing. The under-18s have been the same. They've been playing really well. And there's a lot of informed players in Jamie Donnelly, Alfie Dorrington, Sunset Bell. What's the guy on the left? Santiago, is it? Yeah, they've all been playing tremendously well. Absolutely. And I'm not one to say don't give youth a chance. Yeah, I'm all for that personally. My only argument I'm going to say is when I've watched them play in the league, is it the Premier League Cup games when they've played against Division 2 or Division 1 sides, they haven't been as dominant, and they found it a lot more difficult playing against men than they did against playing against their own age group. Okay, I watched it myself and saw it wasn't as easy as it was playing against the under-21 teams at their level. The only thing I will say why they're not being put in is that, are we trusting Ange here? Ange sees them in training every single day. If he thinks they're worthy of a spot, would you not think he'd give it to them? Because at the end of the day, we're trusting in Ange. Yeah, we're trusting in what he sees as being right. So if he thinks Dorrington's ready, then surely he's going to put him in. Surely he'll give him a chance. So for me, it's about trusting the manager here. There must be a reason why they're not quite coming in. I mean, Jamie Donnelly's been tremendous. He's been absolutely superb. His assists, his goals have been, but he's gradually put him on the bench. He's coming in, we've got injuries. He's giving him a bit on the bench, a bit of experience here and there. I think it's a matter of time before he gets his opportunity. But all I'm saying is maybe he sees something in training we don't, and maybe they're not quite ready for that step up yet. Because playing against men and playing against under 21 is a different ball game. And then playing in the Premier League, massive. Sorry, man. Yeah, I was just saying, playing in a Premier League game, at Manchester City for a young player is going to be huge. I'm not saying they wouldn't smash it. They might come in there and do an absolute fantastic job, and we go, wow, look, see, this is why they should have put him in. But maybe we just got to trust the manager on this one. I'm not sure. I'm just playing devil's advocate.
Yeah, and I think the worry might be, I think I saw somebody in the comments say this as well, is that having them come in with a seasoned fullback or seasoned center half, beside Van de Ven or beside Romero is different than two young players coming in and just playing beside each other in that difficult situation. You want a bit of guidance. You want a bit this, somebody with experience at that level. And so because we're missing two of them at the same time, that's not the ideal time to bring them in because they're going to be playing in a makeshift back four, and that could be even worse. So it's a risk, but yeah, I agree. I think you hit the nail on the head there. We got to trust Ange. He sees them every day in training. He knows whether they're ready or not. If there's another reason they're not bringing them in, then that's a shame. But I would imagine from a footballing perspective, Ange is going to understand whether or not they're ready and is going to play them if he thinks they are.
Regarding everything at Spurs at the moment, everything we discussed, 2 Villa fans put some comments up on our channel this week, and I was really interested by what they actually had to say, because most of the conversation here from rival fans is just hate, haha, Spursy, you got your Tottenham back, okay. But Villa fans don't really get involved in all of that. We don't really have
typically no. They started to though because they're becoming a rival.
Yeah, maybe in a year's time we're going to get it from them as well. All right, but for now, let me read these 2 comments to you very quickly. As a football fan, what a fantastic match, and also how cruel football can be. You didn't deserve to lose as a Villa fan. Count me in as a newfound admirer. To watch as a neutral is one thing. To experience Spurs as an opponent, well, I'm exhausted. A draw, in my opinion, would have been fair. as per our second half changes and fight back. But it's cold comfort. The same has happened to us many times, and I get how gutted you must feel. As you can tell, I was impressed and looking to the near future with a few more high quality players. I can most definitely see you being a title contender. You have something solid, a depth, a mix of skill, physicality, and pace that isn't often found together. I like the way you play in tsunami waves. That's a nice way of putting it. Ange Ball, tsunami waves. And to see your B team step in and do it also should make you proud. I honestly don't know how we survived your onslaught other than we pulled together as a team, which is one of our strengths. Good luck against City. Looking forward to seeing you play at them. I know Ange will go for it again. It's a free hit if the world expects you to lose. I think you have a chance, as there is one thing Pep's teams don't like is being pushed out of their rhythm. And then this fan said, well played Spurs. You battered us in the first half. We should have gone 3-0 down. Long term, you have a good 11 when fit and a good manager. You are in really good hands. Strengthen your bench squad, which will take 3 windows to get the players he needs. And then hard part, shift the deadwood. Great football, Spurs. Good luck. Now, reading that, I thought, hold on a minute. That's a pretty balanced, quite nice thing to say.
That's what you call sensible football fans.
Correct.
Yeah. That's sensible football fans, not trolls on Twitter and all the rest of it, or X, whatever you call it now. That's what you call 2 sensible fans that know their football. Simple as that.
Yeah, I just thought what we talk about, part of me thinks, you know what? They all know it. They all see it, but they're trying to crush it. They're trying to put a down on it. Maybe it will help them force the whole thing derailing, right? Because Man United, Arsenal, Liverpool, their biggest feel these clubs is Spurs actually become good again, like we were on the Poch, and we go that step further. They
hate us. Yeah,
it's like it's their worst nightmare. But when you hear other fans who aren't involved in that world of mudding each other and we're right, you're wrong, blah blah blah, I thought, you know what, they can see it. Do you think the majority of fans actually look at Spurs and say, do you know something? We can actually see what's going on there. But it is going to come down to Levy at the end, right? It always comes down to the same thing. I
think fans do. I mean,
is he going to back the manager or not?
Yeah, I have a few friends who, United fans and Liverpool fans from the other channel I'm on, and they're all impressed. Like similarly to what these Villa fans said, almost the same thing. Like, wow, the football and the potential of where this is going to go, you can see it, and you can see it in the squad, even with the injuries that we've been hit by. So I think it's sensible, like you said. I think we just gonna have to get through ourselves through this period.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, we've got to ride it out.
Yeah,
tsunami waves, Brian. It's tsunami waves.
Yeah, right. We're getting dragged out right now until the wave hit.
Yeah,
no,
it's a wonderful expression. But you've got to look at it. We've gone from the last couple of seasons the most boring team to watch, and no one wanted to watch us.
Yeah.
To playing this brand of football. I remember in the first international break, Sky Soccer Saturday or Sky Sports Soccer, the thing they do on Saturdays with the scores. I forgot the name of the show. Gillette Soccer Saturday. That's it. They were doing a thing about the first part of the season. They're like, "Who's the biggest surprise so far? Tottenham. Who's playing the best football? Tottenham. Who's doing this? Tottenham." I joke about, I think in most of our games, we have more shots on goal. You look at 18 shots, Villa, I think we might have gone 4 or 5 games with Conte and we didn't get 18 shots combined.
Oh, yeah.
Our touches in the offense. It's just true, though. I'm not. You can check it out.
I'm laughing because it's true.
I know,
it is true, for sure.
It's been such a swing that it's all there to see. And you've seen, listen, we all know we have gained a hell of a lot of Australian fans for obvious reasons. It was always going to happen. Even Celtic fans, do you remember still? I can even remember when we were doing a show on your channel, all the Celtic fans that were coming into all of our channels.
You don't realise.
Yeah, exactly. Wait and see this. He's going to do this. He's going to do that. Give him time. The football, everything. To think that he's done it in what we're talking, the season's what, 3 months old? 4 months old.
But 6 months he's been with us, essentially.
Yeah,
this is how far
but the change in this club,
season.
I didn't think a man could do it this quick, and the impact he's had on the fan base. We've got gold here, and you can see, like those fans said, and you do see a lot of fans saying it about what's like. Ian Wright has even been on Match of the Day saying, "I fear for Tottenham," and Ian Wright is the one non-biased Arsenal fan that will say it as it is. teams are fearing us, but we have to get our act together. And I'm going to pass the mic over before I start talking about my specialist subject.
Let me show something interesting, guys. Let me show something interesting, right? This is Pep Guardiola's first season at Man City. All right. In the league, he came third. FA Cup semi-final. League Cup went out in the fourth round. Champions League second round. He finished third in the league behind Spurs. And this is Pep Guardiola, and he spent in that season 203 million euros. He bought Stones, Gundogan, Sane, Jesus, Bravo, Nolito, and Zinchenko. Right, that was his first season. That's Pep Guardiola, the GOAT of football management. How can anyone really be questioning Ange at this stage? How is it possible when you actually look at the history of good managers and the process you have to go through? I know we've kind of been through this already, but isn't that just kind of reconfirming that? And even when you look at the league table, we're not far off the top of the table either.
No,
I think what are we, 5-6 points off top?
Something like that, yeah. I haven't looked at it recently.
But it goes to show still, this is what happens with us.
Even
when
after this bad run, we're there. We're still there.
But this is the thing, we are still there. But the thing is, there have been opportunities again where big clubs, Liverpool drawing Man City at the weekend was a huge opportunity for Villa and us. And obviously the Phil took their opportunity. They get the job done. All right, they choked last season, but the build-up, we just have this problem. We can't get the job done. When the pressure,
they've got a squad, Brian, though, haven't they? Like Arsenal have got a squad that's been built up over almost 4 years, 700 million.
100%. That's time, right? Like you said, finished eighth 2 seasons in a row, then fifth.
Yep.
You know, like it took them 3 seasons, 6 windows to get there, right? I mean, yeah.
We're 4 points off of first place. 4 points, and that's after a pretty bad run of games.
After 3 losses in a row, we're still only 4 points behind. Yeah,
we've built up such a good buffer that we can actually afford to take some hits, I think.
If I'm right, Pochettino is our only manager that's had 6 windows. If my memory serves me right, in Premier League time.
Him and Redknapp were the longest serving managers, so it's got to be there.
Yeah, Redknapp might have, but it just you look at you use Arsenal. How many times were the fans calling for their head or Arteta's head? They were like, nope. And
the club's got to stick with them and back them, and I think in 2 or 3 seasons we're in the conversation, and not even in it. We're going to be playing the type of football that, like, you're already seeing how good a football it is. The right players in the right positions, the finishing will come, the goals will come, and we'll be right there. I think even next season.
And Brian, this comment further adds to the support for Ange. Pep inherited a much healthier squad. Ange lost arguably the best striker in world football, one of the best Premier League players to start off his his time at Spurs as well, and he wasn't replaced. And
he's made some funny jokes about it as well, about the honeymoon.
Yeah, the press conferences. About a honeymoon.
There's a comment just coming from CB. The last comment that's come in still, and you look at it, we are only 5 points or whatever it is off top 4 or top, but there's also this stat as well, and with Christmas coming up. And it could all drastically change.
I know. I tried to do something rare and have a positive look, but I'm happy to go there. I'm happy to go back. I'm happy to go back to how.
This is supposed to be a joyous occasion. Us 4 back on screen together. Let's stick with the positive.
Listen, that just goes to show from the top 8 how tight it actually is this season.
It is.
No one yet has quite pulled away. Normally, you get a couple of teams begin to pull away. That hasn't happened yet. Nobody's actually begun to pull away, or there's no mini group pulling away, which is it's probably better for the league and good for us.
Yeah. We do have to get some wins though, because it is a fact that if we lose another 2 or 3 games, we are going to be in 8th or 9th, and that's going to suck. So we got to find a way to get some points in some of these games. Not this weekend, because we know where that's going to go. But I think West Ham we can beat. I think Newcastle
West Ham is the one we need. Yeah,
Newcastle can be tough. But if we can get a win at West Ham at home, then I think we can turn the tides a little bit and get some confidence.
Brian, let me ask you first, okay? Because you mentioned it. We know where this game. We know where this weekend's going, right? Right. Do we? Because a couple of weeks ago, someone on our channel said, "Wouldn't it be typical We'll lose to Chelsea, bloody worst season they're having, then lose to Wolves, lose to Aston Villa, and then we'll go and beat Man City. You wait and see. Brian, is that not what we're about as a club? Is it not set up this weekend for a 2-1 Spurs win?
Which one?
I don't think we will. I'm not pretending we will, but is it not set up for it?
Which one are you talking to?
Oh, Brian Island.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were talking to Brian because I got Ireland on.
That's awful.
Sorry. No, to you because you mentioned we know how this weekend's going. Do we?
Yeah, I mean, it is very, as they say, Spursy for that to happen, for us to go there and get a win. I think the difference, though, is the open football that we play. It kind of plays into their hands. It plays into teams' hands who have also played that same type of football. Villa being one of them, and we've seen it against other teams. Chelsea
did that, and look what happened.
Yeah, I mean, we got in behind and we got chances. So I do think we're going to get chances against City. It's just I don't think our defense is going to be good enough to hold them off. I think that's the biggest problem. If we had a couple of defenders that like center halves that could play reasonably good, I think we might nick it. But I think it's going to be very difficult without anybody in that position, especially with Haaland. Very difficult.
See, the other thing is, and as you know, when you play against top teams, if you don't take your chances, you get punished. And we cannot afford to miss our chances against City.
Yeah.
We
Gotta be
can't afford
clever.
to miss
Son
our
likes
chances.
to score against City, Shai. Son
He
tends
does,
to score
he does.
against City.
And he's going to need to this weekend if we're going to get anything out of this game. We really need to take those chances.
That's it. This is it. Do you know what? I'm going into this game, and still, just like you and me were at the Emirates, and it was my first trip to the Emirates, and I said to myself, do you know what? As much as I care about the result, and I just want to go to the Emirates for once as a club. Not I've only been there once myself.
Give them a game.
Just give them a game. If you lose that game, just come off the pitch. And when we, like people were saying against Villa, just say, do you know what? We played, we gave it everything. We just couldn't get it done. If we go to Man City with a depleted squad and put in a shift like we did at the Emirates, then I will say, do you know what? Hands up, the better team. It happens. If we go there and do what we normally do, like previous times at the Emirates and whatever, and just fold, but the Etihad, then I'm going to be fuming. But I don't think it's one of these games that you just can't predict. And Shai hit it bang on the money. Brian Island says, I think we'll get chances. Will we take them?
Yeah.
That's where it's going to come to.
Massive.
If Sonny's on, because Sonny likes a goal against City, you know, he's scored quite a few of them. So I think if Sonny plays up to his level that he can play at, and he gets chances, he'll put some away. So I think we just have to try to somehow limit theirs, and I think that's where
the other thing is City are going to be very motivated to beat us, as
100%.
Especially
Ange is copying Pep, right? So you know,
yeah, exactly. You know, they are.
Well, you know what I'll say as well.
What do you want?
That was a funny interview carried during Neville.
So good,
He goes,
so
"Yeah, got to go, mate. Got to go watch City."
Do you remember last season when they done the treble?
Brilliant.
Pep said, was asked, "What's your goal for next season?" And it was to score a goal at Tottenham. Just thank God this game is away, because playing that defence, he'd probably get his wish.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like I said, just go in there and put in a shift. Go in there and come off that pitch, and if we lose and we've given it our all, then fair play. It's happened. It's Man City, for crying out loud. Don't show up and just throw it away.
The thing is as well that I think one thing that plays in our favour is that we're like the whole world expects us, even Spurs fans, to lose this game. It's Man City. We're depleted. There's only one outcome, 5-0, right? But this is when Spurs do things. This is. I'm not saying we will, because I know someone will clip it and say.
Yeah, I'm just surprised that your positivity here is it's kind
of Brian, I think we're going to get
wrong. I'm surprised. It's usually me, to be fair, and you're on the other side. You know, this is like
it's a new style, Brian. It's a new style.
No. Look, if you gave me money and said, "Stel, just put a bet on, make us some money," I'm putting 4-0 Man City. Right, we're going to get whooped. I don't see how we avoid it, but. Just football. Football's it's just a funny sport, and it's set up for Spurs to just do something where everyone's like, what have they gone and done? How can you not beat Wolves and Villa? You've got to wait to see it.
I don't care if it happens. I mean, that's great.
Find
a way to get a win there. That's 3 points that we never would have thought we were getting. So
that's right. We're now NHSFC. There you go.
I'm getting criticised for being positive now. I can't win. I can't win.
I was just surprised. Not I wasn't slagging him. I was just like, damn, all right, I can get on this
That was
train.
very
It's
Man
making me
City.
happy
I'm
now.
very
Looking
Man
forward to
City
the
colours now. Look at that.
Yeah, it's true.
One thing we haven't touched on, guys, is this. Unbelievable. Like he's just come. We've waited 9 months.
Talk
He's
about
come
ruining the
back.
positivity there, Stell. Jesus.
Yeah,
back to
it was
normal.
all
Back to
too
normal.
happy for Stale, wasn't it? It was all
Yeah,
too
yeah.
happy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Saving it.
but you're not allowed to smile for too long on this channel. But yeah, he's torn his ligament in the ankle. Matty Cash, I think, should have got a red card. If that was a Spurs player, it's a red. Obviously, he walks away with another yellow.
It's worse than Romero's. Worse than Romero's tackle against Chelsea.
Yep.
He's lunged in and just anyway.
He's nowhere near the ball. He doesn't even touch the ball. At least Romero went through the ball, and yeah, he's got his feet up and he made contact. But it wasn't like he was. Matty Cash did not have to do that to slide into him like that at all. Didn't even. It wasn't even remotely close. It's disgusting.
What the news is, he's out till mid-February. I mean, for
Brutal.
him, that is just devastating. He's worked so hard to come back.
It's one game, one full
He
game.
came on against Crystal Palace, and there was a big kind of emotional
welcome
moment
back,
amongst the
Bentancur.
team with him. And he's played 4 or 5 games. That's it. He's out now to mid-February. We've lost him. That for me is the nail in the coffin when it comes to injuries. That's just beyond the big blow. That just takes the piss. Guys, what do you make of it? Obviously, we can get angry about Matty Cash. Don't worry, Romero will get him. We all know Romero's. We know Romero's going to get him back.
Right? We
Right?
play Villa in March, I think, at their ground. Matty Cash
and
better.
it's going to happen.
Better
he's
hide.
going to take him out. But until then, like what that midfield just lost another player, and that's a player that we were hoping could cover for Sarr and Basuma in the January month when they're away in the African nation. Guys, like, what do you do now with that midfield? It's just even that's taken a hit. Like,
well, I'll tell you what, Stell. I'll tell you one thing that really pleased me is the fact that I think we were a bit worried about Basuma not having any cover, like going forward in terms of the number 6 position, and I think Bentancur proved the other day that he could easily play that 6th position damn well. Right, so when he's back fit, at least we know we have that option that can play in Basuma's role if Basuma's not there. I can't tell you how upset I was this evening when I found that information out. I mean, every Spurs fan was wondering since Sunday, how long is he going to be out for? How long is he out for? And to hear that tonight was devastating for him, for the fans. We pray that he comes back stronger. But my gosh, that tonight I was very, very upset hearing that news. I can tell you, because he played so well in that first 25 minutes. Everyone was kind of wondering, is he going to be the same player after being, out with an ACL? Some players don't come back the same. I think he proved within 2 games that he was just as good. He had a blinder for Uruguay, I believe, the game before. He played really well. And he came and did that.
Also looked really good together.
Yeah, exactly. Well, do you know what? I think they've got that kind of connection, haven't they? Like the Spanish-speaking boys. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kind of Bentancur, Romero, Lo Celso, Brian Hill. They've got that kind of camaraderie, I think, the Spanish boys. So I think they link well on the field, to be fair. That's just, for me, it's a massive upset. I'm really upset about that. Really upset.
I've been very vocal at this on our channel. Ireland and I spoke about this on the Late Show. I am looking at this now. With him coming back, I was like, do you know what? At one point, we were in such a good position, there was no immediate rush to bring him back. The biggest picture should have been having for January. Having for January, 2 key midfielders are gone. Now this has happened. Obviously, this wasn't a club fault. It wasn't his fitness. It wasn't this. Where I'm looking at it now with people like the Bentancur injury, I'm wondering now, do you put it down to bad luck or bad planning? Is it bad luck that he picked up that injury? Or is it bad planning from the club thinking, right, do you know what? It is pivotal. It is vital that you are available for January. 2 are going. Maddison is out, meant to be back in January. We don't know where.
So what are you suggesting, Brian, we should have done then?
Listen, whether I didn't want Bentancur starting this game. I did not want him starting this game. I thought, first of all, he played 80 minutes for Uruguay.
It's a different injury, though, isn't it? It's not the same as before.
No, but what he's done is played 80 minutes for Uruguay. He's done the travelling.
Nothing lucky about it.
He's done the travelling. He's flown back. This is his first time doing that since a year out. the main thing is keeping him available, because we know at one point the strength in depth in our midfield was our thing.
Now, if we're hoarding players to protect them, then aren't we weakening an already weakened team on game day?
Listen, he didn't come. Højbjerg did not play well when he came on, but he has been playing well. The way I'm looking at it was either short-term gain or long-term reward. And was it more important to play him against Villa when Højbjerg was there and there were options?
Yeah.
Or was it more important to think, right, we've got 7 games coming back to back and we're losing 2 midfielders in January?
All right, Brian, I'm not trying to call you out. I just want to say something that
you want, bro.
No. Something you've always said to me. Play the best team that you've got.
Yep.
Right. So by holding back Bentancur, we're not doing that, right?
Yeah, but also when we play this situation, when have we known that 2 players are going to be gone for a month to represent internationals? When have we known our captain, Son, is going to be three? If you look at our team, that spine has been the key. Van de Ven, Romero, Saab, Basuma, Madders, Son.
Yeah.
Well, right now, if you look at that,
it's gone.
Van de Ven, we don't know when he's coming back. He's got a hamstring injury. We don't know how long that takes. Yeah. Basuma, Saab gone. Son gone. Maddison, don't know when he's coming back. And Bentancur was there to go, do you know what? Don't worry. These are gone. I'm here. I'm here.
I just want to chime in here, if you don't mind. I think it's a bit odd considering the situation we're in. We had, on a very bad run, needed players to come in to fill in that position. Bentancur comes in. And he's shown that he's fit. He plays, whatever 80 minutes or whatever it is for Uruguay. Plays really well. And Ange, the way he looks at it is he's going to play that game. What do I have in front of me? What's the team I'm playing against? And who can I play in this game to try to win it? I don't think he plans for January. Like, I don't think he's going, well, we have those games and these players come back. I don't think he's thinking of it that way. I think he's this is who I've got in the bench. This is who I've got in the squad. I'm going to go out to try to win this game with what I've got. And this is the best way I think is possible. I understand like the idea of thinking that far ahead. I just don't think a coach is going to do that. I think the coach is going to look at the players. He's going to see what they did in training. He's going to have a plan to play against Villa in that game. And Bentancur, as we saw in that first half an hour, it was working really, really well. And he gets hacked. Superb. He was absolutely brilliant. So I think the kid glove thing isn't something you'd see most managers do. I think maybe the club might request it or try to do something. I don't know. It just seems like not something we see in football very often, where a player comes back, they're fit, and they're one of the best in the squad, and you don't play them because you're worried about what might happen in the future. It's not something that happens. Again, I understand the reasoning, but it's not. I
revert back to the thing that's getting me with this is we're talking at a time when teams don't necessarily have African players that are going away to the AFCONs. You don't have Asian players that are going to the Asian Cup.
Well, key players as well for us. They're key players.
Basuma, just to clarify, Basuma will probably lose for like a game because he plays for Mali. They're crap. He'll be back very quickly, and there's a break. There's a break in January as well, where they or whatever.
Yeah, there's the 2-week break, isn't there, in the middle of that as well,
where none of them will be playing. So we're not
going
to miss
there's
the
an FA
entire
Cup.
month of January.
There's an FA Cup weekend though in that break.
Yeah, but I'm just saying squad game. I'm just saying it's not as like panicky as everybody's making it out.
What I will say is, if there wasn't an AFCONs and Basuma and Sarr were staying and there were no injury suspensions, no problem at all. Play Bentancur to your heart's goddamn content. Do what you want. But when you're missing, you definitely know January the 1st, you're missing 3 key players. When you don't know when Van de Ven's coming back, we don't know when Maddison's coming back. You're now talking. Tell me another team where they've gone right now.
You just don't play your best player in that scenario.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you've got to start looking at this. What's our options now in midfield? If let's say Maddison's not back for the beginning of January, Skip, Højbjerg,
Lo Celso.
We're back to Skip and Højbjerg. Last year when we played Aston Villa on New Year's Day, Ryan Isaacs tweeted this. Last year when we played Aston Villa on New Year's Day, we lost 2-0. Levy out started coming out. We had Longley and I think it was Davies in defence. Midfield of Højbjerg and Skip. I was told apparently no money in January, and obviously we had the Porro saga. Skip forward almost a year. Already apparently no money in January. Whether that's bullshit or not, probably is bullshit. We'll see. And all these injuries, we're in exactly the same place. Yes, we've got players when they come back fit. The first team is much better.
But you're just assuming that we're in the same place. Like you're making up a scenario that isn't necessarily what's going to happen. Like we could have players come back early. We could have other players get injured.
But as we speak right now, speak right now, when is Maddison back?
We don't know. That's not the point.
They're saying Van de Ven and Maddison.
If you don't play your best players to win games, you're not going to win games.
January. You're going to be worse off. Yeah, they'll be back in January. They're saying.
They're saying, but still, because you trust our medical team, yeah? They're just a week away.
Well, yeah, we don't know, but if we're going by reports, and that's all I'm going by.
That's all we have. January. I mean, we don't have an inside track on when.
To be fair, they did say Bentancur's coming back October, November, and he did. So
that was accurate, yeah.
But even then, it's still 6 games away. Like there's still a lot of football that needs to be played.
Yeah, Christmas period is going to be difficult. Yeah. It's the worst time for it to happen.
Shy, would you have maybe rested Bentancur? Do you think Ange did the right thing in starting him?
I think it would have been very difficult to rest him considering the situation we're in. Like Brian Ireland said, I think when your best players are fit, it's hard to not play them, I think. And looking at his performance away right before he went off, you can see exactly the reason why he should have played him. Do you know what I mean? So I understand what Brian's saying about, think ahead and plan sensibly. I totally get that. That's also common sense. That's something Spurs don't do anyway. We've known that over years. We don't have common sense first. You can see them not doing that, if you know what I mean. But yeah, going back to I think it'd be very difficult not to play Bentancur if he's fit and ready to play. It's, like I say, he's going to play him for now, isn't he? If he's fit. But I understand what you're saying.
He was 8 months out, right, as well. So
yeah, he was
trying to get on the pitch.
I'll tell you something, actually. This might not be true. I might be making this up. I don't know. But I don't know if any of you know, but there was some sort of discrepancy with Bentancur coming back because he felt he should have been back earlier. And there was something between him and the med staff or something about them holding him back. Or something like that. Maybe that was
back. So what it was, apparently he kept saying for weeks before he's ready to play. He's ready to play.
Yeah, he was saying he's ready.
Like, they were exactly no chance whatsoever. Not happening. Yeah. So it was the medical team having his best interest at heart.
Exactly. Now the other thing is his wife or girlfriend or whatever she is came out on X, I think, and made quite a strong statement after he was fit regarding there were some people holding him back and blah, 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 which is really interesting. I've never heard of this before. And then I don't know. Like I said, I could be making this up. It might be nothing. I just thought I noticed when I watched the game on telly the other day, when Bentancur was coming off, you've got the head of the medical staff. I can't remember the guy's name. He's got kind of gingery hair with glasses. And he came off the bench to come and talk to Bentancur. And as Bentancur was coming off, Bentancur just turned his head on him and just walked off down the tunnel. Now, listen, it might mean nothing. He might have been angry. I don't know. I just thought it was really odd as he was coming to talk to him about his injury that he just turned his head from him and just walked straight off.
Yeah, it could have been the guy that was stopping him from playing before.
Exactly.
He knows he's got to spend the next 2 months with the guy again to try to get fit.
Exactly. And I just thought, that looks a bit odd to me. After hearing what I had heard, I thought that was a bit strange. But I say it could have been nothing. But yeah, I mean, it's not something you hear, is it? Very often, it's
a strange one for sure.
Yeah,
Brian did say Brian Daigle. He did say, "Do you trust our medical department?" They don't have the best reputation, do they? In all fairness, they don't have a good record among Spurs fans.
No.
Well, I'll give you another example. When Neto for Wolves done his hamstring, stretcher. Off you come. We're taking off the stretcher.
We don't believe
Van de Ven, 6'4" beast, having 2 young people half his size carrying him, and he's hobbling along. Bentancur, when he done it at Leicester, he's done his ACL. Oh yeah, you just carry on walking around the pitch.
Bentancur, when he did his ankle in this game, came off
again with his ankle. Put the guy on the
Matters was the same thing when he came off. He was walking off the pitch as well.
The Van de Ven one. I couldn't understand at all.
Shocking. We all saw how bad it was when he went down.
Exactly. Why are you not getting a stretcher on the pitch and getting him off the pitch on a stretcher? Why are you leaving him to walk off?
Exactly.
Yeah, it's very strange. Very
Unbelievable.
strange.
Crazy.
Yeah, we said it when it happened as well. I remember in the stadium. Why is Van der Ven walking off the pitch? This is crazy. And you know what the craziest thing of all was as soon as he grabbed his hamstring, everyone saying went, "Ooh."
Yeah,
Like, you could feel it was a bad one.
You knew. Yeah.
Even we knew. Like, but the medical
Yeah,
team
you-
were just, yeah, okay, yeah.
strange.
Guys, look, we are going to wrap it up. We've almost been going for an hour and 45 minutes. It's been a great reunion, 150th episode. Make sure you like, subscribe to both channels.
Congrats,
one
guys.
last
Well,
question.
pleasure being on here.
Yeah, well done, guys. Well
There is one last question.
Is it 200th episode? We're back then. Is it 200th?
Yeah, we can do 200. We can do every 50.
Yeah.
Why not? Listen, like Ireland said, let's just say, listen.
Good reunion. We can do it on Tottenham Tour next time, although we're streaming on both channels.
Yeah,
anyway.
we'll definitely do it. But listen, people know when we split, it was due to time difference, obviously COVID, and we couldn't commit to this kind of time frame.
I just hate you guys.
Yeah, Shy in particular just started pissing me off with all those.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. As you can tell, Shy has always been the rowdy one out of the three of us. He's always been.
I'm sure you can all tell
that. But you guys have gone from strength to strength, and it's a home from home. And we all know we're all very, very tight. People will know, and people who don't know, I've known Stel for over 33 years. Stel was at my bar mitzvah. There is a deep bond between the two channels, and
Brian had hair before he met him. Brian had hair before he met Stel.
So did Stel. We should get one. Have you got one of our pictures, our school pictures?
You know what? We should let's. Can we all wear a wig on the 200?
I'll get the
Cucurella one, guys. I don't need it.
Cucurella wig.
Except for Brian Island.
Me and Brian Island are all right. We're
good. Yeah, Shy and I got the hair.
Yeah, we're all good as well.
I'll get the Cucurella rig.
There is one question I just wanted to ask you guys before we end. Right, you're allowed to pick 3, no more than 3, not 2, not 4, but 3. 3 positions that you can buy in January. Brian Island, you go first.
Striker, creative midfielder, center half.
Striker, creative midfielder, center half. Brian Daigle.
Left back, centre back, striker.
Left back, centre back, striker. Okay, so the centre back and striker is a common theme. Striker.
Yeah, I agree. Brian Ireland, centre back, creative midfielder, striker, definitely.
I'm different to. I almost agree. I'd go centre back, striker, and a left-sided winger.
Forward. Yeah. No, I could see that.
Forward.
I could see a creative player that can play at multiple positions. That would be nice. That could play in any of the front 3, or even in that 10. That'd be nice.
Yeah. Someone that is a bit more flexible.
Versatile,
exactly what we need.
for sure. Yep.
But guys, as always, thank you for watching. Everyone in the comments, big up to yourselves. Tottenham Talk. When are you guys next live?
I'm going every morning. People know I wake up at 3:30 in the morning in Toronto just because why not? So I can do
Gotta stay consistent.
So I can do cockle doodle do. Then there will be the late show with me in Ireland, and then as of something we're working very hard on, December the 1st and all through December at 11 o'clock, we are doing a Tottenham Tour Advent calendar where we're talking about 5 players that wore the number 1 all the way through to 24. Stel's coming on a few. Shy, I'll speak to you and get you on. Iggy's coming on. We're going to have some fun. Christmas cracker jokes. I'm wearing a Christmas cracker hat. I actually had to open a Christmas cracker by myself to get this hat. And it was the most loneliest experience of my entire life. Opening a Christmas cracker.
I'm sure you've had worse, Brian. That sounds pretty dramatic.
Mate, no, honestly, it wasn't exciting. It was quite lonely.
Yeah, we got lots going on the channel, man. We're really excited. So hop on over to Tottenham on Tour and like and subscribe here if you're from Tottenham on Tour watching this, to these guys' channel as well, supporting each other and trying to do this YouTube thing. So pop on over, please.
I believe Iggy's doing a morning show tomorrow where he uploads a 10-minute video, and then Mari's live tomorrow night. I believe that's what we're doing, if I'm right. I just want to quickly, I said name 3 positions.
Yeah, Andy Lloyd.
Owner, chairman, executive director.
Yeah, good one.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
But if Mark Cousins comes in, chairman, owner,
right.
Oh my God!
3-2 Man City, guys. By the way, 3-2 Man City in that game now.
Everyone's saying, "Oh, City are vulnerable."
Don't get their back up against the wall.
It is what it is.
Anyway.
On that note, guys, thanks as always. Check out Tottenham on Tour tomorrow. Check out Tottenham Away. And 150 episode, guys. We're done.
Cheers, guys. Thanks for having us.
Yeah. Cheers, guys. Good one.
Cardi Spurs.
The first game we look for, Robbie. Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away. Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away.